And we are ready for the third round today. Both of us, me, Polina Torochkova, and my amazing colleague Ulrike Vogel have been involved with the FIDE's DIS Commission for quite some time. This is the unique event in the history of chess for people with disabilities. The event will consist of two stages. The first one is a 7-round Swiss system from which the best 4 teams will qualify to play double round semi-final. The 2 best teams will advance to the finals, while the 2 others will compete for the third prize. And the time control in all stages is 25 minutes plus 10 seconds, which means that it will be very thrilling for all to watch. And today we are waiting for the special guest from our sponsors, the charity foundation Sozidание. Sozidание Charity Foundation is one of the sponsors of our grandiose event, first FIDE Online Olympiad for people with disabilities. And I'd like to make a small review of the activities of this charity foundation. It was established in 2001 and works in the field of charitable and social support for socially vulnerable categories of Russians. The health of children and adults is a priority area for the foundation. Assistance under medical programs can be varied from buying rehabilitation equipment to paying expensive surgeries and medicines. The foundation implements various programs in many regions of Russia into following areas: family, according to which the fund supports low-income families in difficult life situations, and education. These are scholarship programs for gifted children from low-income families on a permanent basis. The foundation also provides targeted assistance to elderly people, both in social institutions and those living in families. The mission of the foundation is directly related to the values to which they are committed. This is honesty, transparency, openness, willingness to give each person the opportunity to help. The mission is to unite people in need and those who want to help on the basis of the principle everyone can help, to offer different ways and opportunities to help those in need.
Great. I think we're just waiting now for Elena to just come onto the Zoom call. She should be on literally any moment now. So just bear with us. As I said, we're just waiting for her to log in. Just one moment. We're just waiting for her to connect to the audio so that she can hear what we are saying as well. So let's just see. I don't think we can hear you yet.
Елена, здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
As I already told, our special guest today is the Chief Executive of Sozidание Charity Foundation, the sponsors of our event, First FIDE Online Olympiad for people with disabilities.
So the first question that comes into mind immediately is, so why chess? Why this particular online chess Olympiad for people with disabilities? Like, how did your foundation become a sponsor of this major project, or did the project find you?
Ну и, конечно же, сразу напрашивается вопрос, почему шахматы, почему Всемирная шахматная олимпиада, каким образом ваш фонд стал спонсором данного крупного проекта или проект нашел вас?
Вы знаете, тут 2 в одном. И проект нашел нас, и наши дети, которые являются подопечным фонда, участвуют в вашем шахматном турнире, поэтому все сложилось в одно. И я всю жизнь любила шахматы, меня папа обучал шахматам, и как-то шахматы мы смотрели по телевизору, все эти матчи, но потом все это ушло в небытие, и я счастлива, что в наших русских школах сейчас шахматы — это обязательный предмет, и мне кажется, это очень и очень хорошо.
Well, my father has been playing chess for all his life, and he was totally believed that it's the best logical game that develops the habits of independent thinking, forward thinking one step ahead, and making combinations. And here I have to say that thus chess found us, and we found chess, and I'm happy that now chess is a is a compulsory subject in throughout all Russian schools. And here I have to make a remark that one of the fellows of the foundation, Елизавета Клочко, is taking part in our event, first FIDE Online Olympiad for people with disabilities for Russian team.
That's really great to hear. So let's talk a little bit more about the projects that you work on in Russia. In March of this year, so you obviously announced that the campaign Helping Doctors Together to support any doctors sort of throughout this pandemic. So the Sotsidanya Charitable Foundation was the first in Russia to actually start raising money and purchasing personal protective equipment for the doctors that were fighting at the front of COVID throughout Russia. Tell us a bit more about this.
Давайте поговорим о том, как творить добро в России. В марте этого года фонд объявил акцию «Помогаем врачам вместе», направленную на поддержку врачей в условиях пандемии. Благотворительный фонд «Созидание» первым в России начал собирать деньги и закупать средства индивидуальной защиты для врачей, борющихся с коронавирусом по всей России. Расскажите, пожалуйста, об этом подробнее.
Это было очень сложно. Это был очень тяжелый период, это было очень сложно, потому что не хватало средств индивидуальной защиты, их просто не было в наличии. Поэтому нам приходилось искать бахилы в одном месте, маски в другом городе. Нам приходилось следить, чтобы тесты везли в определенном терморежиме. То есть мы были и грузчиками, и логистами, и проверщиками на медицинское качество этих средств, которые мы передаем врачам, потому что мы понимали, что если мы не успеем передать врачам самое важное, самое главное, то лечить будет некому. Поэтому главное для нас было защитить врачей, чтобы они могли лечить людей.
It was an extremely difficult period. We always appear first, and charitable action Helping Doctors Together was our informed decision. With other foundations, we have started to purchase personal protective equipment for doctors fighting coronavirus throughout Russia. Unfortunately, not all the regions of Russia were prepared for the first pandemic wave. It was one of the hardest periods, as we had not only to raise the money, but to find out the procurement information of personal protective equipment throughout all regions of Russia. And our whole team was involved, though our team consists of 7 people. And when I say that charity foundations can do everything, it's completely true.
Yeah. And of course, that's one of the sort of more recent projects, but it would also be great to find out just a little bit more, obviously, sort of the main reason for the charity around the program called Take a Child for a Scholarship, Find a Donor. So what is the aim of this quite interesting initiative, and can anyone take part in the program?
Теперь поговорим об основной деятельности фонда. Что это за интересная программа «Возьми ребенка на стипендию, найди дарителей». В чем она заключается? Любой неравнодушный гражданин может участвовать в этой программе.
Когда фонд организовался, это был 2001 год, мы получали письма и просто отправляли посылки людям, которые нуждались в одежде. Из этих писем мы узнавали, что дети-отличники ходят в школу в истоптанной обуви, иногда ходит один из 3 детей, потому что нечего одеть в школу. И тогда мы придумали программу помощи одаренным детям, которые из малоимущих семей. В 2006 году у нас было 3 стипендиата. Сегодня у нас 654 стипендиата, и каждый стипендиат, он прикреплен к своему дарителю. То есть у каждого стипендиата есть свой друг, который может писать ему письма, может его поддерживать, может с ним переписываться, созваниваться, естественно, с согласия родителей. В следующем году у нас уже 727 стипендиатов, и мы рады, что при такой тяжелой экономической ситуации, которая сложилась в этом году в России, нам удается расти, и эта программа так много, так востребована, потому что даже те дети, которые выросли, уже стипендиаты, они уже сами берут стипендиатов. И это очень такое добро в природе. Круговорот добра в природе.
What about scholarship program? Few believed in it, and we provide a scholarship for children from needy families with special skills in sports and perfect grades in almost all subjects. This program has launched in 2006 with 3 fellows. This year we have 654 fellows, and next year there will be 730 fellows. And we are very proud that in spite of any crisis, we have donors who understand that there are people faced much more difficult circumstances.
It's really great to hear about all those amazing projects. And I know as well, obviously, that Sotsidania has been nominated for one of the world's largest prizes in the field of children's and youth literature, the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award. So it should also be noted that obviously Sotsidania is the only organization on the list of nominees from Russia. So what activities were you involved with that led to this particular nomination?
Мы знаем, что благотворительный фонд созидания номинирован на крупнейшую в мире премию в области детской и юношеской литературы, премию памяти Астрид Линдгрен. Нужно отметить, что фонд созидания единственная организация в списке номинантов от России. В результате какой деятельности фонд оказался в этом списке?
Я вам рассказывала, что когда мы отправляли посылки, почему-то во многих семьях нас просили прислать книжки, потому что всегда была проблема купить хлеб или книжку. Да? У людей нет денег, и на книжку, понятно, у них никогда не хватало. И тогда мы списались с местными библиотеками, оказалось, что книжный запас совершенно не пополняется, и книжки с 98-99 года практически не поступали. И мы объявили первый сбор книжек, наверное, в 2004 году. Нам отдали огромное количество книжек. Мы тогда придумали прекрасную программу поддержки библиотек «Читающая Россия». Это воплощение их проектов на совершенно маленькие деньги, но которые они помогут привлечь и читателей, и маленьких детей обучать, и пожилым людям придумать какое-то занятие. И тогда библиотеки действительно возродились, потому что это действительно единственный центр досуга на 5, а порой и 10 деревень, сел, хуторов, которые рядом существуют. Это место, куда люди приходят, где они и чай попьют, и делами поделятся, и берут книги, которые действительно нужны им детям. И им тоже. У нас есть одна женщина, я сейчас быстро вам расскажу, может быть, вы не успеете все запомнить, которая писала, что у них в поселке выключают вечером свет, и она обожает, когда полная луна, потому что она тогда выходит ночью на улицу, садится на крылечко и читает эту книжку при полной луне.
And what about our program for books? We were very unexpected to find out that there were no books in the rural libraries in the regions of Russia, and we started to provide books into such libraries, which are the only leisure center throughout a huge amount of settlements. And what about the nomination of Astrid Lindgren? Yes, our foundation has been nominated for the world's largest prize in the field of children's and youth literature. And it's a great victory for the foundation, credible trust and pride. And most important, that we got noticed and nominated, and it doesn't matter if we win or not.
No, it's always great to be at least on a nomination list, isn't it? That's already bringing a name out there. So, and last but not least, like, are there any final wishes or anything sort of you'd like to say to the participants of this online Olympiad? And what are some of the things that are sort of important to you as well?
И в заключение нашей беседы, что вы можете пожелать участникам этой Олимпиады и каков ваш жизненный девиз?
Мой жизненный девиз – это: даже если ты упал и тебе очень плохо, всегда есть рядом друзья, которые помогут тебе встать и идти дальше. Вот даже если вы не заняли никакого места или заняли последнее место, всегда легче потом сделать шаг вперед, и это путь на самом деле гораздо интереснее, гораздо не знаю, мне кажется, гораздо увлекательнее, чем все время занимать первые места, быть все время первым, а когда ты все время идешь вперед и на шаг вперед двигаешься и преодолеваешь себя, это очень круто. Я желаю всем, кто участвует в этой Олимпиаде, не побед, а получать удовольствие от игры, получать опыт и делать выводы.
I just strongly believe that no matter what place the chess player takes, next time you will do your best. It will be a step forward. Always strive for victory, but don't forget that you can go quietly with noiseless steps in harmony with yourself. Enjoy the Olympiad, the game, and stronger opponents next to you. Be pleased that you have the unique opportunity to participate in such an event.
A really great, very big thank you from us for coming on, talking a little bit more to us about obviously the foundation and how sort of, there is this, how chess is sort of quite important to you as well, which is really great to hear.
Елена, большое спасибо вам за уделенное нам время, большое спасибо, что пришли, поговорили с нами. Мы это очень ценим. Большое спасибо.
Спасибо вам огромное. Мне было очень приятно.
Благодарю вас. Всего доброго.
Thank you. Great. So obviously, we had the second round yesterday, and after all those games were finished, actually only one team remains on a perfect score of 8, which is Poland number 1, and Israel is closely behind on 7.5 points, and another 6 teams are on 7 points. So we have a really, really strong field at the moment, which is great to see. Of course, as you remember, we had James yesterday with us, who was the head coach of the Philippines team. So just a quick update on that. Unfortunately, the Philippines 2 didn't fare as well against a very strong Russian team. But the first team of the Philippines won on all 4 boards against the USA. So that was great. And I'm pretty sure that James will have had a little chat with his team today to get them all motivated and ready to take on Russia 2 and India 3 in today's rounds as well. Obviously, all the Polish teams are having really strong performances, and so far they've only lost 2 games across, yesterday they only lost 2 games across their 12 boards. And also it's really interesting to see as well that we only actually had 9 draws in all the games yesterday. So of course at the moment, at the beginning of every sort of big tournament like that, you will have quite significant differences between player strengths and the different pairings. So I'm more than sure that we'll continue to have some really interesting games over the next couple of rounds.
And I'd like to make a small review of one of yesterday's games. Babarakin Stanislav from Russia, team number 1, against Redor Menandrov from Philippines, team number 2. And Russia achieved a win 4-0 over Philippines. And the game was quite dramatic, though both sides made mistakes in what followed before White eventually crashed home for victory. Thus, Queen's Pawn game, where White can create problems for Black from the very beginning. And White plays d4, Black's response is knight f6. The move is a flexible response to White's first move. Then there was bishop f4, d5, e3, 5, c3, knight c6, knight d2, e6, knight g2, f3 and this opening was in the game of Magnus Carlsen vice versa Vishwanathan Anand during the FIDE World Blitz Championship. By the way, Magnus won the title there, where black usually plays the sixth move bishop d6. But the Philippines chess player dodged the main line and played with the pawn c2 d4. Afterwards, white takes the initiative over and releases the pressure in the center. And on the 18th move, black made a terrible mistake, rook c2 e8, and white was just winning. But on the 22nd move, white spoiled the winning position and squandered almost all his advantage. Rook a8 and the position became equal. But on the 27th move, the Philippine chess player made a fatal mistake again, playing pawn f5. And here the Russian chess player didn't lose the advantage, and black resigned on the 36th move as white mates in 3 moves wherever the black king goes. To make sure that you can follow the action today, have a look on Tornella, where you can keep an eye on the live games. The direct link is also posted on our Facebook page.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, I know a lot of people have been talking about chess over the past sort of couple of weeks with Netflix sort of streaming the Queen's Gambit series. So we've actually got with us again GM Thomas Luther from Germany, who will be having a bit of a chat with us about obviously not just sort of what he thought of Queen's Gambit, but also we'll have a look at some of the games that are obviously going on. Obviously, sort of about 25 minutes into the game, so I'm pretty sure we'll have some interesting things to talk about. Hello, Thomas.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello, Ulrike and Polina. It's my pleasure to be here.
So obviously, I've just mentioned Queen's Gambit. What did you think of it?
Oh, it's a great show. Yeah, I mean, I think the best publicity we got for chess for a long time. I mean, so many viewers, the top show on Netflix in so many countries worldwide. Amazing, yeah, amazing, and great work by the actors and by the directors and by, of course, the company Netflix. I mean, fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of it, Polina?
Frankly speaking, I very rarely jump about the hype train when it comes to TV shows. However, the entirety of this series was very well written, directed, acted, and scored. Certainly one of the best new shows I have watched, and Anya Taylor-Joy is simply sublime in the main role. The way in which she portrays the character's development from teen prodigy into adulthood was masterful, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot more of her in the coming years. And cast performance aside, there is so much wonderful attention to detail. Clearly, a lot of care and attention has gone into developing the scenes involving chess, gameplay, and technical nuances. From the acting to the storytelling, it's certainly a show you want to watch all the way through. And this is a must-see program. Everything about it is beautifully executed, and I will never stop recommending it to the friends and my family.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's really great. And I think if you've been actually to chess tournaments yourself, you can really sort of recognize some of the things where they've really sort of made sure that they followed it through quite nicely. So it's a really great watch. I mean, I quite enjoyed it as well. And I think, sort of as someone who, well, is not really a very strong chess player, I think like anyone could have me in checkmate in about 10 moves or something if I'm not lucky, but it's still really enjoyable to see that tension, to see the atmosphere. It's really great to see that. So but how about we have a quick look at some of the games that are going on at the moment. How about, obviously I mentioned most of the Polish teams are really doing quite strong. So how about if we have a look at the board 1.1, which is obviously the first board where we have the GM Marcin Taspier playing against Vladislav Pokotayev from Ukraine. Do you have the game open for you to have a look at as well, Thomas?
Yes.
Perfect. So talk us through a little bit about that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, it's because many people don't know the players so well. I mean, Marcin Taspier, I know for some time. He's about 30 years old, more or less. Sorry, Marcin, I'm not sure here, but okay, he's a grandmaster and with a rating above 2,500, which is quite amazing, taking into account that he's blind. Well, you know, the regulations say, I mean, there's blindness with means like total blindness, but also legal blindness goes with a few percentages of vision. So Marcin can see a little bit, but still, you know, it's a strong handicap, and he's doing fantastically, you know. I mean, so he plays in normal tournaments, he goes to opens, you can see him here and there. And I'm very happy that he came and plays in our event and the Olympiad for people with disabilities. And of course, he leads the strong team from Poland. And I mean, let's see, at the moment, you know, they won all the games until now. I mean, well, it's early in the tournament, but they are hot favorites for the victory. So.
But yeah, I mean, like, obviously Marcin is up on time at the moment compared to Vladislav. So that's always, I suppose, a bit of an advantage at times, especially if you deal with a relatively short time control, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We could have seen this already in the last rounds and also in the games. Marcin is like very fast. Usually he has a good time, but is incredibly important in this rapid games. So, and you know, how to say, you know, in chess, many people can play good moves, you know, this is the thing, but you know, the differences come in certain moments, you know, in critical points when a person is under pressure. So it's about a accumulation of small advantages, and definitely having a better time already means a lot, because definitely, if we look at the position now in move 16, okay, nothing is decided, of course. But, okay, lots of pieces are on the board. And, okay, we see already, and you mentioned it, time will be a problem later on for black. I mean, the position looks pretty much okay for both sides. I wouldn't, you know, say that there's something special going on. It's just too early into the game.
Perfect.
Maybe, no, what I would recommend is we come back to this game later, because the action might start in, I would say, like 10 minutes, more or less 10, 15 minutes. We will see a lot of action in this game, and I think we should definitely see Marcin playing. And maybe we go to some of the matches which are really not always in the spotlight, so giving them a chance to talk about.
Shall we maybe work our way up from the lower half of the boards up to the top a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we maybe look at, so we have Libya playing Costa Rica. So if you can maybe have a look at board 29.1, which is obviously the first board of this particular game. I'm just getting it open on my end as well. So which is Un Adel versus Marco Vincinho Cabrera Sosa. So let's have a look, because they've already, the second board on this particular game has already been decided by the looks of it.
Yeah, this is, look, there are always interesting stories about the teams which are not so much in the spotlight. Like, you know, many of the countries like Libya, we were very happy when they registered, you know, because I mean, we know that, for instance, in Poland, they have a strong program for players with disabilities, and overall strong program for chess, and in many other countries as well. But, you know, we seldom hear, you know, about, like, let's say, Libya, and then it's good to have them because, you know, in chess, in FIDE, we are one family. So it's good to have them, yeah? And by participating, I mean, the players get the chance to play, to play with other players. And definitely, you know, we will see things improving, more people coming to chess, more players, and you know, so maybe now they play on the last board, but who knows, maybe in 10 years it might be very different. Yeah.
So how is that game looking for you on the first board there? How obviously black is up on time slightly compared to white.
Yeah, and black has a winning position. This white is thinking, white is already down a piece versus a pawn, but this is only one thing. Unfortunately, there's more material to be lost in the next moves. You see the black queen hitting to white's rook, and yeah, well, I think black will win this game very soon. So yeah, well, this is, I mean, yeah, now white played the move f4. Okay, black has a lot of options, but you know, in chess, you know, you don't need to find the best move always, you know. It's just a good move in a winning position is always done. So, and here black didn't waste much time, just took the rook. And of course, now, because you mentioned the movie or the show Queen's Gambit, maybe you remember in the first episode when the coach told to Beth, it's time to resign because of the respect. And actually, this is one of this moments here. White should resign, but okay, well, this is okay. I mean, well, this is one of these things. Maybe you know how to tell kids, should they resign or should they not resign and fight till the bitter end? And this is a very difficult question to answer. The movie, I mean, in Queen's Gambit, they made a very clear statement about it, but in reality, okay, coaches handle it differently. Yeah. And some say, please fight till the end, and others say, resign early. So, well, okay, here, a good moment for white to resign. So let's change, maybe going to another one.
Yes, maybe we will go to the board 1.3, Lukasz Nowak from Poland against Alona Osipova from Ukraine.
Yeah, sorry, Polina, which number of the?
1.3.
1.3, yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, looks pretty much equal in this moment. So let's see. I mean, like always, like I said, many players can play a lot of good moves for a long time. And so this doesn't necessarily reflect, you know, their ratings. The differences are sometimes very, very small. And, you know, even the strongest players sometimes need a very, very small thing, you know, to beat their opponent. So chess is really, you know, a game many players can play on an amazing level. And here we see the position more or less even at this moment. So let's see. So, but here's actually one thing, you know, we put in the regulation. Let me mention that in each team, because it's team of 4 players, but you know, and each team at least one lady, one female player has to play. We put this in the regulations early because we wanted to encourage all the countries to have more women in chess. As you know, chess is for everyone. This is what I'm telling, but by percentage, there's an overwhelming number of men playing. And this is absolutely not reflecting chess itself, because chess is the same, yeah? So we encourage, and so just let's see. I mean, we will see. I mean, here, most of the teams, they just have one woman, but maybe later, maybe they will have more. So let's see. So we try to push this development a little bit.
I think it's great as well that you have there's such a big age range of different players. So obviously the youngest player 9 years old and the oldest sort of 79. So it's really great to see such a big age difference as well. And that, as you said yourself just now, you know, obviously chess really is for everybody. So it's really great to see that. So, and is that sort of something that you'd want to see, or that you would want to keep on having in those tournaments, to have such a diverse amount of players?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, this is the message, you know, that chess is for everyone. And the idea is, look, chess is very popular. And one of the reasons why chess is popular is really because everybody can play it. So, you know, at home, you know, grandparents can play with their grandchildren, or, you know, you can bring it in, you can play it in a park, you know, like in the Queen's Gambit, where people just sit, you know, outside with the chessboards. They are in many places, actually, in many parks, in many countries, they have tables for chess. You know, they have the chessboard on the stone table, so the people only bring the pieces to play. So this is, we have this big culture of having chess everywhere. And I mean, people know about chess. So if we just bring it, or if our message is that we are just one family and chess is for everyone, so we will be very, very, or we will make chess very, very popular. So still, okay, in this game, I think still nothing going on. There's one thing, you know, as I understand, you know, playing a rapid tournament, time management is very important. And we see that, you know, this 25 minutes and an additional 10 seconds per move is actually a lot of time, one might think. But, you know, time management, you know, is important. So basically, you know, there's nothing to really think for a long time, you know. If the player takes a minute sometime here or there, this 25 minutes are used quickly. So, but personally, I think it's a matter of training. You know, once you train this kind and try to be disciplined just to move, you know, frequently, then it's fine. Here, this, I mean, I don't want to be harsh or criticizing, but I think, I mean, both players are, I mean, use a lot of their time. So this is something which will affect later on the result, because until now, everything seems even. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's have a look at some of the more sort of unusual pairings again as well. So if we can look at board 27.1, which is Zimbabwe versus Mongolia. So we have on board 1 there, Mikji Kishbaya, apologies, Kishigbaya and versus Tapiva Gora. So let's have a look at that game, because obviously they are sort of at a similar sort of time like the other games. So where do you see that game going there, Thomas?
Yeah, I was just noticing that some of the games are already finished when I clicked on it.
Yes.
To all our viewers, you know, if you go to the Tonello lobby, it's so nice and easy to follow the games. So this is actually really nice. This is another good thing about chess. Everybody can follow. This is, in many other sports, it's not that easy to follow. But in chess, you know, you basically have the game and you see everything. Yeah, so here, okay, on the first side, it looks like white has a really good position. So, yeah, so everything good for white. Black's king is a bit in danger, but material-wise even, yeah. But well, somehow black has, I don't know, looks like poor coordination at this moment. However, yeah, you should never underestimate the chances. You know, black is also having some ideas. You know, I wouldn't say, you know, this game is ended. No, I mean, this game is still going on, and yeah, well, okay, black faces some trouble, but if black survives the next moves, well, yeah, very complicated middle game. And here comes, comes the thing, many pieces on the board. This means like lots of options here. So especially in rapid, it's never easy to find the right moves. Okay, now the queen to d6. Actually a nice move. I like that move because it is protecting the rook on b8, which was attacked. And okay, tempting white to exchange queens, which is not in white's interest because black's king is more vulnerable, so white will keep the queen on board and try to play for checkmate. But yeah, let's see. I mean, interesting, yeah, good game here. So
good. Obviously, you mentioned earlier on that obviously you know quite a few of the players from sort of past tournaments, and obviously we have sort of some of the countries that are very regularly represented, but also obviously some countries who are sort of fairly new. But like, what are sort of some of the challenges that you know of that some of the countries and some of the federations have faced sort of to actually participate in this tournament?
Yeah, let's check. I mean, I didn't even follow. I mean, the last 2 days, the team of Uganda couldn't participate because they had internet problems. So the thing is like the coach, Mr. Katende, who is famous since the movie Queen of Katwe, Robert, a friend of mine, is collecting some of the players. I mean, bringing them from their homes to a place where they have internet connection. So it is like, I mean, some of the players and captains, they take a lot of effort to participate. So they go to another place where they have internet connection and then they play. And yeah, so this is really some challenge, yeah, because in other countries, you know, people have internet at home, switch on the computer, while this is not the case everywhere, you know, in the world. And so these are challenges. And I mean, together, of course, with the challenge of having a disability, which makes many times, you know, the challenges bigger because, you know, this includes like traveling to another place, which means like in some cases bringing a wheelchair and all this. So, well, we can only imagine, yeah, the challenges, but I'm happy that they do it. Okay, knight e8 now in this game, if we are still there, yeah? So, okay, I mean, yeah.
And
so,
Thomas, maybe we can have a quick look to the board. 8.3, Dari Bernardo from Philippines against Alexei Pahomov from Russia.
Yes.
8.3.
8.3, yes.
Seem to be very close in time, very close in rating to an extent as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear your perspective, Thomas.
Yeah. So 21 moves, yeah. Okay, white looks very active, but also white sacrificed a pawn for the activity. So this is okay right now. I mean, yeah, black is passive, but like in most of in this kind of passive positions with material advantage, it means like, okay, long term, black of course is fine with the extra pawn, but yeah, what happens in the next moves? And the game will, I mean, white has the potential to decide this game quickly with a checkmate attack, but well, if not, then most likely the solid position from black with the extra pawn will prevail, but it's not clear. So now white went knight to c5, attacking the queen on a6. And okay, black should not waste time, but just take the knight. And you know, when you're in defense, it's always the logical thing to exchange the pieces of the attacker just to minimize the potential of the attacker. So I mean, yeah, now I don't know why Alexei is thinking here so long. I mean, okay, up to him. I don't want to criticize. As a player, you know, the world is different. When you sit, and probably all of us, we know this, when you sit on the board and you look, it looks different, you know, from outside. Being a spectator, it's easy to comment, it's easy to sacrifice material, because at the end, a spectator is not responsible for a result, while the player always has to answer the questions, why did you do that, and didn't you see that? And this makes everything very different. So from my time as a player, I know that it's better not to give too many wise comments as a spectator, because the real pressure of competition is really something else.
Yeah, no, of course. And I think for a lot of the players, it's also quite nice for them to be representing their country. So there is even more pressure on there, isn't there? And I think you, Polina, you had your eye on one more game, isn't it, that you'd want to have Thomas have a look at as well?
Yes, I wanted to have an eye on the board 3.1, Handenur Shahin from Toki and Stanislav Baryakin from Russia. And Handenur is the most titled chess player from Toki. I was talking about her today, yesterday.
And I think both of them have previously competed. I think Handenur was she was part of the Federations Cup last year. And Stanislav, he's played in Dresden a couple of times. So they're sort of quite well-known names, I think, for a lot of us.
Yes, both. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Stanislav won the World Championship at least once, maybe more often. Yeah, he's a strong player. And yeah, like you mentioned, he played in the Confed Cup last year, one of the last tournaments before the pandemic. We were lucky to have it in December last year in Turkey. And yeah, well, soon after that, all these tournaments were canceled. So, okay, good. Yeah, here, yeah, Handenur, of course, yeah, Handenur has a better time. Okay, the position is still nothing special happened. I mean, one might argue that maybe Black has two bishops, because usually, I mean, bishop pair is considered stronger than bishop and knight, but this is only a very small detail. In fact, you know, there are lots of books written about the bishop pair, but, you know, to prove it in the practical game that the bishop is better than knight is something many players fail, because actually the knight is also a tricky piece. So I also know some players who prefer, especially in the rapid and the blitz, to have the knight versus the bishop, because the knight is a bit more tricky in its way. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay, bishop to e6. It is always nice to see that, you know, there's this 10 seconds per move. So in one moment, the player gets this 10 seconds. But you know that, you know, for some of the blind players, when they use an online assistant, they have to play a bit quicker, because, you know, the assistant, they announce the move, the assistant inputs the move. And so I think, while this is going to be fast and the assistants are trained for this, but it still takes whatever 2-3 seconds, yeah, something like this. And, you know, so yeah, well, going low on time is not really recommended, you know. That's why I was telling, use this 25 minutes for play, for the needs, you know. This is not how to say, we call it standard game, where you can really think and go deeply into the position, while in rapid and especially blitz is more like moving instantly. So this is more an emotional thing, more the instinct has to play. Maybe all of you know, because it's in many games and many life situations. Sometimes you have time, you make big plans, and this is more like the standard chess. And sometimes you just have to make a decision. It's this or that, and you have to decide and you have to make it. And this is more the rapid. So the mistake is just mixing these two. when you play the rapid, you really should accept it's rapid and you should play fast. If you mix it and then you try to think about deep plans in the rapid, then the time is going low, and this is well, then in most of the time not ending well, because even having maybe whatever, now it's move 30, but it's already clear that this game will go on at least another 20 moves, maybe more, yeah? So what about the time later on, yeah?
Yeah. Well, in particular, I think, obviously with Stanislav sort of playing fairly quick now, certainly, but, I mean, sort of to be, he has only almost only a third of the time left compared to Hadenur. So that's obviously, that can be crucial ultimately, isn't it? So she can take that little bit more time to think, whereas he really has to react almost a lot more instinctively, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, let's see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with thinking in one moment in rapid, but going down to 2 minutes in move 30 is how to say, I would strongly advise against it. Let me put it like this. Yeah. So there's always this saying, what is the maximum effort you can put in a blitz game? And if you think for a nice mating attack or combination, is it really worth the time spent? And this is not an easy decision, because sometimes you have this nice combination, you find it, and then the game is finished. But what if it's not finished? So then it's, the time is missing. So this is sometimes also like rolling the dice, yeah?
Yeah. Shall we have another quick look at 1.1 then, the Martins game, because his opponent Vladislav is down to literally 25 seconds. So if we can have another look at game 1.1, please. So just, see there so that you can give us a bit more insight of what has happened there since we last checked in.
Yeah, okay. Yes, so it's interesting to see that there's still equal material in this game. So basically, Black was putting up a good resistance in this game, but the time will play a very decisive role now, because I mean, being down on 30 seconds means this time, I mean, it's not coming back, because to cumulate time from the increment is nearly not possible. I mean, sometimes, of course, the 10 seconds are coming, but okay, and the player gets whatever, thinks a bit and then makes the move and has like now gained 5 seconds, but what about the next move and the next one? And so this is, sometimes, well, hard to say. So, okay, Black goes e4, and I think now Marcin will come with his rook from f1 to a1, attacking the Black bishop, and this is what he said. And now he will win a pawn. Bishop to c5, nice to see. He captures, and now he will capture the pawn on a4, and basically is a pawn up and has a winning position. He will. Rook a4. Marcin is a very pragmatic guy. I mean, now he just took the pawn, and he knows he will, with this huge advantage on the clock and the extra pawn. I mean, I would even say it's nearly guaranteed that he will win this game. I mean, it's never 100%, as we know in life. Even if we think it's 100, but I would put it in the high 90% that he will win this game.
Well, let's see.
And Thomas, about winning the games, what do you think of the Magnus Carlsen phenomenon? I mean, in reality, Magnus Carlsen stands alone at the top of the global game, the unrivaled great of his generation. And in the coming years, do you think there is a chess player capable of defeating the current world champion? From today's chess elite, do you admit that someone is capable of taking his title away, or is the future champion only growing up?
This is a difficult question. I don't know. I mean, the young players, there's so many very strong players. And well, I mean, Magnus seems to be ahead to all of them, but it's hard to say, you know. There is what we say, time is affecting all of us. Even when we are young, you know, we will get old, hopefully, yeah? So, okay, now Magnus is, of course, young and strong and at his prime. But let's see, maybe now he is the strongest player. Let's see in a couple of years if the young generation, if somebody will come. Let's see. You know, this is always in chess. We always had this, that players were dominating in their time. But well, yeah, like I said, we all get older. Yeah. So this is this is the thing. So let's see. Yeah.
No, I think it's interesting to get, you know, to see. I think probably people were asking sort of similar questions back, obviously, you know, with when you know, with Bobby Fischer and probably even with Kasparov to an extent, where you always wonder, well, you know, how can who is going to come and who is going to be better ultimately than those. And I think there's some really talented really young players out there at the moment as well, aren't there, Thomas?
Yeah, a lot of really young and really strong players, and you know, they are in an age of whatever, 14, 15, 16, so they can make huge progress in the next years. So this is this we will see. And you know, in chess, you know, you need a lot of energy to focus and to concentrate. And I mean, I always think, you know, the players seem to have their prime when they are like 25 to 30 years of age. But, you know, with good health and fitness, it is extendable until the age of 40. And well, after 40, I don't know. I mean, I remember the day when Garry Kasparov told that he will retire from chess. He was 41, and he was incredible strong still at the age of 41. But I mean, he made very good arguments that the young generation, or it's taking more, how to say, more energy when getting older, you know. I mean, it's not easy. So, but this is affecting all of us. I mean, this is a human thing, and yeah.
Of course. No, thank you so much, Thomas, for coming on. We really appreciate you sort of giving us a couple of insights on some of the games that are sort of still ongoing. And I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time we'll see you on here. We'll probably have you come on again at some point during the tournament to give us a couple more insights. Really great to have you on here and help us a little bit out, obviously, on the technical and on the chess side of things. So really big thank you to you from us.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. And obviously we'll be back again tomorrow for round number 4. In the meantime, obviously you can check on Tornillo for the results. Obviously all the information will be uploaded onto chess results later on as well, once all the games are finished. So, and we'll be looking forward to having you all on board again tomorrow.
Everybody, please enjoy this online Olympiad. Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Bye.